What is up, 7th grade? This is lesson 78, and we're talking about how to graph inequalities. Before we jump into graphing inequalities, let's just talk about what it would look like if we were to graph something that was equal, an equality, not an inequality. So something like this, that we have x equals to 2, if we were to graph that, there would just be a dot on 2. The only solution that would make this true would be the dot, or the number 2. Nothing else would work. Anything down here, nothing up here would work. Okay? Now, what if we change this, and instead of saying x equals 2, which would just be a single dot, what if we change this to say x is greater than or equal to 2? So now let's change this. Now this is an inequality, meaning any number larger than 2 or equal to 2 will work. So not only would 2 work like before, but also 3, also 4, also 5, also all the numbers in between. And so in your book, normally it would show you shaded on top like this. But since that's kind of hard to do and still see if you're using pencil and it's black, what we do is we put a closed circle like this and we draw up and then over to the right, just like that. So that's what I'll be doing for the rest of them. Notice that in books, though, they'll normally draw it on top of the number line like that. So if we were going to change this just slightly, what if instead this was x is just greater than 2? So notice the only difference between this and this is that up here we had x is greater than or equal to 2. Now we're saying that x has to be bigger than 2. And so 3 still works, 4 still works, 5 still works. In fact, even 2.5, 2.1, 2.0000001 still works, but just not 2. So how we draw that, instead of drawing a closed circle like we did up here, we're going to draw an open circle around 2, meaning everything up 2, but not including 2. And then we're going to draw still the same arrow kind of going off to the right, because those are the numbers that are larger than x. So let's go and do another one then. What if we had something like this? X is less than -1. So again, because x is just smaller than -1, not we're equal to, we're going to use an open circle. So we're going to find -1 on our number line, and we're going to draw an open circle around that. That wasn't the greatest one. So an open circle there around -1. And now we're talking about x's that are smaller than -1. So x's that are smaller than -1 would be numbers like -2, -3, -4. Even though 2, 3, and 4 seems bigger than -1, think of it this way. Would you rather owe someone $2 or rather owe someone $1? Well, I'd rather owe someone only $1. So that means -1 is the larger amount. So x is smaller than that, so it's going to go in that direction. All right, we're going to go and do, these are actually some of them off your homework. So maybe you can, after you have your homework, you can look at these. So the first one just says v is smaller than or smaller than 5. So I need to find 5, and I'm going to use an open circle because it's just smaller than. So here's the 5. I'm going to draw an open circle around that. And I think of numbers that are smaller than 5. So 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, negative numbers, so I'm going to go in that direction. This next one says 1 is smaller than n. So again, it's just a smaller than, not an or equal to, so I'm going to use another open circle. So I'm going to find 1 and draw a circle around it. And now, notice over here the variable's on the left, my variable's on the right now. Notice this n is the larger one of the two. So this number n, whatever it may be, has to be bigger than 1. So think about numbers that are bigger than 1. That would be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this way. So then I'm going to draw in that direction. All right, number 3. This is -4 is less than or equal to x. So I'm going to find that -4, and I'm going to put a closed circle on this, color in that circle, because it's less than or equal to. And then again, we're looking back at this. This is the alligator eats the bigger number, so this is the bigger number of the two. So exit has to be bigger than negative 4. So think about what's bigger than negative 4? Well, 0. I'd rather have 0 than owe someone $4. So these numbers to the right are going to be bigger than negative 4. And one more like this. If negative 5 is greater than or equal to k, so negative 5 or equal to, so I'm going to put a closed circle here, down the negative 5. And notice now which one of these is bigger. The negative 5 is larger, so I have to think of numbers that are smaller than the negative 5. So numbers smaller than negative 5 would be to the left of that, so negative 6, negative 7. So it's going to go in this direction. All right, now this is actually just the opposite of what we were just doing. Okay, before they gave us the inequality and we had to graph it. Now they give us the graph and we have to write the inequality. So that's not too bad. I think we can do this. So here we go. This number is on a 5. Okay, so I'm going to write the 5. And we know it's going to be an or equal to. So I'll just go ahead and I generally always write the x next or first. So notice the x. So these numbers to the right of here is where it's shaded. So notice these numbers are larger than 5. So that means I'm going to draw my inequality where the x is larger than the 5. And I need to add the or equal to because it's a closed circle. Over here, this is a 0, so I'm going to write the 0, and I'm going to write the x. Now, you don't have to use x if you wanted to use some other cool letter, like maybe like L or Q or Z, whatever you want. It doesn't matter what letter, but just any letter here. Then I need to look at this. So this is the 0. It's solid, so I need to put the or equal to. And now I'm looking at these numbers over here to the left of that are smaller. So that means I need to draw x to be smaller than 0, but or equal to because it's a closed circle. Let's try another one. A 4, and let's just pick a random letter, like L. And these numbers that are shaded are again smaller than 4. So then I need to go this way. But since this is a closed circle, I need to add the or equal to. Last one, here's the 6. Let's pick another cool letter like S. And then let's see here, 7 is larger than 6. So it means the variable here, that means the S has to be bigger than 6. But I'm not going to write the line underneath it because it's an open circle. These were closed, so I wrote the line. This is open, so I did not write the line. Your homework, like I mentioned earlier, is a worksheet. Make sure you get that, and good luck, guys. You're going to do awesome.